talk to you about a very, very pressing topic, which is how to deal with a type of question in the IELTS Writing Task 1, and it is the process question. And in the first part of IELTS Writing Test, you might be asked to describe a process. IELTS Task 1 process questions rarely appear. However, they do come up occasionally. But there's good news. They are much easier to answer than the other Task 1 questions. Nonetheless, as rare and easy as they are, I think that we should never overlook this type of question. Because failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So why don't we kick this off and cross this by familiarize ourselves with this kind of question. And firstly, I want to introduce you different types of process of question which are natural and man-made. And there are tons of, and as you know, there are tons of natural processes such as a circle, a life circle of a butterfly, of a fly, or frog, or describe the process of pregnancy. And if the question is a man-made process, you might also be asked to describe a man-made process like how to make coffee, tea, or beer, or how bricks are produced, or even how an ATM operates. And next, in the part 2, we would everyone need a plan to be the victor. And after hours wandering around the internet, I've come across a strategy that I think is going to work. To be more specific, it is composed of 5 steps, which are the step 1, try to understand the process. You know, it is crucial to understand the question, and questioning one of the best way of delving deeper into a particular problem. And here are they. I've prepared a couple of questions such as where the process starts and where does it end, or how many stages are there, or is it a man-made process or a natural process? Or to delve deeper, is it a cyclical process or not, or what is produced? And there are a couple of more, and the list goes on, you know. And then we'll just go to the step 2, paraphrasing the question, as Mr. Nyet has just mentioned that paraphrasing the question is we use other words to, you know, to describe, to demonstrate the same idea as the question, and you must not change the content of the question, or not you are very likely to be your point is very likely to be hurt. And in the step 3, we will have to write an overview of a process. The overview is probably the most important paragraph in the report. And if you do not have a good overview, it's extremely difficult to get a high mark in the IELTS Task 1. And if you learn how to write a good one, you are far more likely to get a score that you deserve. And overviews for process question can be done quite easily by asking yourself a few questions again. The answer to these questions will allow you to form 2 overview sentences. The first one is it a man-made or a natural process, which has been answered in the first tab, and how many stages are there, what is produced. It's pretty similar to step 1, and where does it start, where does it end, is it a cyclical or linear, or any material that added to the process, the product. And just get to the step 4, which is we go in the detail of the process. I would divide the detail of the process into two paragraph, and each paragraph will describe a particular period of the process, which you can say what each state does and what it produces, if any material are added, and or all the relationship between the previous subsequent of or are there any subsequent stages, and uh, and and that's the end of the details paragraphs. So s- so the step 5 is to try to sentence your language and make your detail easier to read. By language, you know, if you have your ideas demonstrate clearly, your it's gonna be a huge advantage. You should use linking words like firstly, first of all, secondly, in turn, then, and and so on. And make sure you know the meaning and the grammar of your words, of course, and do not use them if you are not 100% sure about how they should be used in a sentence. And yeah, the final step is to check your essay. Check you should and you are advised to spare yourself about 3 or 4 minutes to check your essay, to check your reports, and if you feel confident about it, you could get right to the writing task 2, which is gonna be which is gonna save your time a lot. And that's all of my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Uh, okay, today I could start off by showing the pie charts in IELTS Writing Task 1. Pie charts are circular charts divided into sector or piece line, usually illustrating percentage. The sign of each pie slide shows the relative quantity of the data it represents. The bigger line, the more information it shows, and vice versa. Together, the slides create a full circle. They are commonly used in the business world and the mass media, and are less common in scientific and or technical publications. Uh, you need to know that an IELTS writing pie chart question, you might see only one chart or more than two charts. In the second one, it usually shows the fluctuation of categories over time. It is quite complicated and harder for the first one than the first one. And another thing is I could state that to do a grind, to do a writing pie charts, first step is analyze the charts. Analyzing is always the first step and the most important step in the writing, especially writing task 1. The format of every academic task 1 question is the same. Every question consists of sentence 1 is a brief description of the graphics. Sentence 2 is the instructions, and the graphic include charts, graph, table, or etc. The sentence two tells you what you have to do, And you must do three things in the to analyzing the charts. Is the first one is selecting the main feature to write about the main feature, and the last one is compare the main feature. All three tasks refer to the main feature of the graphics. You do not have to write about everything. Just pick two or three key features and you have plenty to write about it. Move to step two is identify the main feature. The graphic in IELTS pie chart questions should not be difficult to interpret. Each question had it created to test your language skill, not your mathematical ability. Pie charts always show percentage or proportion. Apart from that, they are essentially the same as bar chart and line graphs, in that they are a way of presenting data visually. All you are looking for are the main feature. They will usually be the easiest things to spot. There will be lots of information in the graphics to help you identify them. And I have some useful question to identify the main feature. Uh, what what are the units of measurement, and uh, are there any notable similarity? Pie charts generally have title and labels, or sometimes a keys instead of segment label, as in our practice question. The key explains what each segment of the pie chart represents. Next, in step 3, making an outline, uh, IELTS Writing Task 1 use the same structure for all tasks regardless if it's a pie chart, line graph, table, bar charts, or a mix of multiple charts. This structure is as follows: paragraph, introduction, overview, first main feature, and second main feature. In writing an introduction, you should simply paraphrase the question. It means say the same things in a different way. For example, the charts below show the reason why people travel to work by bicycle or by cars. You can paraphrase like the two pie charts displays the key reasons for why people choose the either circle or drive to work by percentage. This all you need to do for the instruction. Move to step 5, write an overview. In second paragraph, you should report the main features you can see in the pie charts, giving only general information. The detail come in the essay. You should make it. You also make any clear comparison you spot. And after that, form this idea into 2 or 3 sentences with a total of around 40 words. State the information simply using synonyms where possible. No elaborate vocabulary or grammar structure are required. Just the appropriate words and correct verb tense. And the last step, write the first and second detailed paragraph. In 3 paragraphs, in the third paragraph, where you should include more details information about the data in the graphics. You should give evidence to support your first key feature, and don't forget to make comparison where it's relevance. And for the and also the final paragraph, you do the same thing for your second key feature. And as the last but not least, after finishing the essay, you should spend 2 or 3 minutes to check again the spelling, vocabulary, and the tense. Thank you for listening.